chapter number 17 today. The punishment and reward of Kali. So, what do we start? Before we start, we'll tell the place. Om Aganti Virandasya Ganajana Sadakya Chachurur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishram Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padamayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sadivam Sarvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Udamsa Namo Vishwadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Charane Vimashesha Shunnavadi Paschata Desatarane Vancha Kalpadurgasya Kripa Sindhuye Vacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gautase Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinvan Jagate Gopesha Gopikanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapakanchan Gaurangi Shirake Vrindavaneshwari Krishna Sute Pranami Hariye Dinachandra Nittaya Paramatmane Balmadara Shakadabhyam Jagannathaya Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauravantavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare So, how many devotees did yesterday's homework? What do you do? No? Sorry. Okay. And then we will not go through it. Let's go to the next chapter. So, punishment and reward of Kali. So, in Parichet, he observes a Sudra who was beating a cow and a bull with a club. So then he spoke to the Sudra in a deep voice. So how can you do such an heinous act? So actually you deserve to be killed. And then he asked about identity of cow and the bull. Because when the subjects are terrified, goodwill of the king is destroyed. So that's why he said that I will kill this man. But before that you will tell that who is your perpetrator. Is he the person who is the cause of your distress? And then bull doesn't give a direct answer. So he speaks of different philosophies. So different theoretical philosophers, as they say that I am the perpetrator. Some say superhuman power. Some people will say activity, nature, this, that. So it's very difficult to find who is the perpetrator. So then he understands, because he understands this is dharma. He is not an ordinary bull. And then Parichet consoles dharma. That I know that you are dharma himself. And 4 of your legs represent 4 pillars of religion. 3 of them are destroyed. So at that time, when Kali was about to be punished by Parikshit Maharaj, Kali surrenders to Parikshit Maharaj. He says that I am also your citizen, you should give me some place. Because I don't find any place in your kingdom where nobody breaks 400 principles. How will I get a place? I also want some place. So he asked for some place in the kingdom. And then Parikshit Maharaj gives 5 places. 4 places are the places where 4 regulative principles are broken. And the 5th one is the place where money is accumulated for sense gratification. So there also. And we'll later on discuss that how when excess of money is accumulated for sense gratification, then also there are fights or hypocrisy. And that's why Prabhupada said that as soon as money comes in our temples, it should be spent. Spend it for Krishna service. Don't accumulate. As soon as you accumulate, then there will be fights.
That there is only sense gratification, there Kali doesn't. Only sense gratification, Kali doesn't come.
Asha, means people don't save money and they do sense gratification. They do it legal way, there is no problem. Because 400 principles are also there. If you break 400 principles, then also it will come. Too much keeping is a problem, and even if 400 principles are broken, it is a problem. Because generally what happens is, you may observe that as soon as too much money comes, then people are even impelled to break 400 principles. So only people who are very religious and they have money, then they can avoid breaking 400 principles.
That's very difficult.
That's a difficult task. So very few dynasties in India are able to do that. But we will discuss in detail when we come to those verses. So then Kali, a king reestablishes the lost legs of the bull, improves the situation of the earth, and then Parikshit's expert administration and patronage is discussed. And then why did he renounce the kingdom? They are explained. So now we will directly go into the verses. So these are the split up which we already discussed about. So now how Parikshit Maharaj was an ideal king and how he appropriately chastised Kali, we will discuss that. Today, but we will especially focus on the section of Dharma. So there we will go into Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary also. Because he has explained very nicely what all reasons and logics is given. So please read translation. You can read all 3. We will discuss all 3 together. One, two, and 3.
So can you put?
Oh, it's not coming?
No.
Just
1, 2, 3.
no. What you are doing?
Sudha Goswami said, after reaching that place, Maharaja Parikshit observed that a Lavaka Sudra dressed like a king was beating a cow and the bull with a cloth, as if they had no honor. Second, the bull was white as a white lotus flower. He was afraid of the Sudra who was beating him, and he was so afraid that he was standing on one leg, trembling and urinating. Third, although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principle from her, she was now rendered poor and calfless. Her legs were being beaten by a Sudra. There were tears in her eyes, and she was distressed and weak. She was anchoring after some grass in the field. 3.
So you find that how he observed in his meditation, again as we discussed in the previous chapter, that there was a Sudra who was dressed like a king, and that is something observable in Kali Yuga. People who are not qualified become the rulers. Because if able rulers are there is no problem. So when people who are very unable, they become rulers, they can't take any strong decisions also. So you find even so many rulers of the countries, they have no power to take any strong decisions.
They follow their idea only.
Yeah. They follow whatever people say because there is democracy everywhere. Whatever pleases people, they have to follow that.
Oh, yes.
Even if they know there is something wrong, they can't do anything about it. So, in this way, he was this Sudra dressed like king. He was beating both the cow and the bull. And this cow and bull, as we discussed previously also, they are not like ordinary. So, it's like the same thing as in Handamana. So this Dharma, he was in the form of a bull. He was urinating, standing on one leg and trembling. So what I explained here is that it's not that bull was fighting against the Sudra. He was just trembling. So similarly, people who follow the religious principles, they become fearful in Kali Yuga. So already 4 legs. What are 4 pillars of religion? Truthfulness, mercy, austerity, cleanliness.
Cleanness.
Only one which remains is truthfulness. And that is like one of the versions. Another version is that 1/4 of each one of them remain. That is also another one. Anyway, so in either of the cases, only 1/4 of the religious principles stay. And even that is also trembling in Kali Yuga. So only truthfulness is there. And that too, that also goes away in due course of time. So previously people were so truthful, at least a few years back. In that all the, you can say it was not good, but still it was there. Black marketing in India was just from the word of mouth. There were no legal papers. It's like I give away my money, Vaisas would lend their money, and there are no papers signed that this person has taken this money, that person has taken that money. Even today also in many places that is the custom. Because they can't produce legal paper, otherwise they will have to pay the taxes. It is a black money. But they lend their money and they don't have any legal paper. Another person repays the money along with the interest. So at least that interest, that faith is there. But even now, as the time is passing, even that truthfulness is going away. So that is symptom of Kali Yuga. And those who are religious people, they don't oppose at all. And as far as cow is concerned, cow is known for giving ghee, cow dung, etc., which is used for religious purposes. But then sea is also destroyed. And sea was without a calf because the grains, which are the child of the earth, are also destroyed in Kali Yuga. So calf is compared to grains. Grains.
Mother Earth.
Yeah, Mother Earth gives grains. Yeah.
We see the Dharma, the ball of Dharma and the core of Bhumi being affected. Does that mean that demigods are affected in the Kali Yuga?
Yeah, those who are dharmic people, they get affected.
But the demigods themselves as well?
Demigods certainly get affected because there are no sacrifices.
Therefore, they don't get power from that?
Yes, they don't get power from that.
They get power from sacrifices.
Sacrifices. And even the people who follow religious principles have to struggle. Like we find our devotees, ISKCON devotees also, Grastas have this, they do observe that let us say certain devotees want to stay here in Mayapur permanently, or they want to stay there at their own place and practice Krishna consciousness. That is more difficult. Whereas somebody does anything wrong, it's very easy for him to stay anywhere. Those who maintain slaughterhouses, it's very easy for them to maintain themselves anywhere. Those who sell liquor, it is very easy for them to maintain themselves. But for our devotee, it's so difficult. You go anywhere out, you have problem of prasad.
Yes.
Right? You go anywhere, you have to really see whether this particular job has nothing to be done with breaking of 4 principles. So it's so difficult. Whereas somebody is breaking 4 principles, it is so easy for him to survive anywhere. So that is Kali Yuga. In previous Yuga, it was other way around. Anybody who wanted to commit sin had to hide himself, and then he would commit sin. Now, if you want to do anything religious, you have to hide yourself. Devotees want to practice Krishna consciousness, they hide from themselves from the parents, they hide themselves from the friends.
Yes.
No, they put a bead bag inside their some place and chant. Right? So that is Kali Yuga.
Inside blanket.
Inside blanket.
In the plane.
No, nobody should know that you are chanting or doing something. And anybody doing any nonsense, he can be open. He can do whatever you want. So that's like. And even the grains are destroyed. In Kali Yuga, like we will find, there are many companies. So there are certainly GM, genetically modified. Then also there are grains, they remove the male and female part in the grains. So that you cannot reproduce the grains.
Why?
Then you will be dependent on the company for the sale. Every time you have to purchase some. Monsanto. We don't know.
What?
Monsanto, American farm. They have genetically modified all the crops, and they keep the original somewhere. And they only give the crops who cannot produce other crops by themselves.
So what they do is they remove the male and female part. Each grain has a male and female part. So if you put grain, that is why it can produce a plant. But if you separate both of them, then it cannot germinate. So they do that. So they really are playing with.
But the chemical one can germinate.
No, it's not just chemical, they have a method of removing the male and female part.
They cannot produce.
Great, but it will not further.
They have no seeds.
It won't turn into a seed.
They have no.
You can just
fertility.
consume it. So anyway, that's biotechnology, destroying the whole earth. So these grains are compared to this calf, and that is why she has tears in her eyes. She was very thin because sacrifices were not performed. Because Mother Earth is also comes in a category. Certainly she is consort of Krishna, but she also plays the part of being a demigod. So when the sacrifices are not performed, she also becomes very frail, very thin. And meaning of becoming very frail and thin is that it won't give much minerals and crops, etc. So we don't get such a produce. Otherwise, in previous ages, we will find the way people will wear gold, use gold, have different grains, etc. It was like beyond imagination. But in Kali Yuga, things are very difficult. Otherwise, it was not very difficult to survive. Survival is like something very nowadays to survive is also very, very difficult. Like I heard from few devotees that even in America, in many places, both husband and wife have to work to survive. So previous, there was no question of survival. Survival anybody can do very easily. That's why Brahmanas were without worry, and they would just practice their principles. They didn't have to work very hard. Please read 4, 5 and 6.
Maharaj Parikshit, well equipped with arrows and bow, and seated on a gold-embossed chariot, spoke to him, the Shudra, with a deep voice, sounding like thunder. Oh, who are you? You appear to be strong, and yet you dare kill within my protection those who are helpless. By your dress, you pose yourself to be a godly man, king, but by your deeds, you are opposing the principles of the twice born Kshatriyas. You rogue, do you dare beat an innocent cow because Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the carrier of the Gandiva bow, are now out of sight? Since you are beating the innocent in a secluded place, you are considered a culprit and therefore deserve to be killed.
Yeah. So according to the Vedic principles, those who are powerless are never curbed, they are never punished. So there are 5 people who are protected in Vedic culture. Who are they?
Cow,
Brahmanas,
women,
child,
diseased,
old men,
old people.
old people, and some places people are deceased also. So these 5 types of people, they are supposed to be protected, and they are the ones who are exploited in Kalkutta. They are not taken care. So because he was like hunting the cow who is innocent, so Parikshit Maharaj said that you are deserved to be killed. So Krisi Goraksha, it's Goraksha, it is no Gopalan. Goraksha means one has to protect the cows. Protecting cows means not that you just keep the cows till cow gives milk and then later on you sell the cow. Cows in any case have to be protected. So there is no question of harming the cows.
I did not understand twice born Brahmana. I can understand. Why this twice born Kshatriya? What does it mean?
Okay. So among Brahmanas, Brahmana, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas, all 3 of them are twice born. So what they have specified here in the translation is that among all 3 categories, you are appearing like a twice born Kshatriya. Because all 3 are Dvijas, na? Brahmana, Kshatriyas and Vaisya.
Acha, like Brahma Bandhu, that kind.
No. See, what is meaning of twice born? One Dvijayate. Like,
Twice born.
Initiated by spiritual master, that is the second one.
yes, it is the second birth.
Yes.
But that is true both for all 3. For Brahmanas also, Kshatriyas and Sudras. But he wanted to specify here that you are appearing like a Kshatriya who is well educated and trained.
Okay.
He is not telling that maybe you are a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Sudra or a Vaisya, sorry. So he is specifying that you are looking like a twice born Kshatriya.
I did not get it.
He is specifying at the subcategory also.
What is the subcategory?
There are 3 subcategories, na? Brahmanas are also that twice born Brahmanas, that twice born Kshatriyas and twice born Sudras.
What's the twice born Kshatriya?
Hmm?
What's the category of twice born Kshatriya?
Kshatriyas means are supposed to be twice born, but even Brahmanas can be twice born and Vaisyas can be twice born. So he is specifying that you are appearing like a Kshatriya.
Religious Kshatriya, basically.
Yeah. It's basically meaning Kshatriya.
आपके पास पावर है लिखा है ना यू अपीयर टू बी स्ट्रांग मतलब क्षत्रिय के जैसा है लेकिन आप उस लेवल में काम नहीं कर रहे ट्वाइस बॉर्न क्षत्रिय
It is not referring to Brahma Bandhu or Kshatriya Bandhu. It is referring to properly initiated twice born Kshatriya. Now it is clear.
Yeah.
So don't worry about English.
Well, 3 only here. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas called twice born, not Sudra.
Not Sudra. Because one becomes twice born even before education. Dvijayate, like a bird is also called Dvija. From bird first comes from an egg, and then egg sprouts, and then the baby bird comes out. So it is born 2 times.